Hi boys and girls, I'm out at Whitewater State Park and I'm sitting next to the stream and I'm hoping you can see some examples of erosion behind me where the rocks and the soil and dirt have gone and have been washed down the hill. And also we know where sand comes from. We know that sand comes from rocks. So I wanted to read the story, The Sandcastle Contest by Robert Munch. I think we read this maybe the second week of school. Let's read it again, just for fun. Let's think summer. Matthew's father stood in the driveway and said, "I think we are all ready to go. Let's make sure everything is here. Do we have the bicycles? Yes. Do we have the food? Yes. Do we have the boat? Yes. Do we have everything?" "No," yelled Matthew. "No," said his dad. "No," said Matthew. "We don't have a dog." "Dog?" said his dad. "We don't even own a dog." "I know," said Matthew. "Now would be a good time to get a dog." "No dog," said his dad. "Now, do we have everything?" "No," yelled Matthew. "We don't have my sandbox." "Matthew," said his mom, "we can't bring the sandbox, but the first place we can camp, we will have a nice beach, and you will have lots of sand to play with." "Well," said Matthew, "okay." So they drove and drove and drove and drove and drove until they came to a place to camp. Lots of people camp here, boys and girls, at Whitewater State Park. Matthew jumped out of the van and ran to the beach. He came to a girl making a small sandcastle and a big sand dog. She said, "Hi, my name is Kalita, and I'm going to win the Sandcastle Contest." "Wow," said Matthew. "I'm going to build a sandcastle too. What can I win?" "You can win a bathtub full of ice cream," said Kalita. "All right," said Matthew. So Matthew made a house with doors and windows and a roof. He dug out the inside of the house so it had rooms, just like a real house. He made sand tables and chairs and beds and a TV that had a sand show on it. It has camels. Do you remember what camels store in their humps, boys and girls? Water? That, you're right. When Matthew was almost done, Kalita came over to look at his house. She had her sand dog on a leash. "Nice sand house," said Kalita. "Really, really nice sand dog," said Matthew. A judge came by and said, "Get this house out of here. Who put this house on the beach?" "This is my sand house," said Matthew. "I made it for the sand contest." "Huh," said the judge. "I know a real house when I see one, and there are no real houses allowed on the beach." Ooh, boys and girls, it does look like a real house, doesn't it? Then he went inside and sat in a sand chair and watched a sand show on TV. Another judge came by and said, "Get this house out of here. Who put this house on the beach?" "This is my sand house," said Matthew. "I made it for the sand contest." "Huh," said the judge. "I know a real house when I see one, and there are no real houses allowed on the beach." She went to the bedroom and looked at the sand bed. She went into the kitchen, opened the refrigerator, and looked at the sand apples, and the sand celery, and the sand cartons of milk. Then she said, "Little boy, you've got to get this house off the beach." "This is my sand house," said Matthew. "I am going to prove it." "Huh," said the judge. So Matthew went outside and kicked this sand house right beside the door. It all turned back into an enormous pile of sand and fell on the judges. "Help!" yelled the judges, and everyone came running and dug them out. When the judges were finally out from under the sand, they yelled, "Matthew wins! His sand house was so good that we thought it was a real house." "Matthew wins!" everyone yelled, and they gave him a bathtub full of ice cream. Matthew started eating the ice cream, And he said to Kalita, "Want to help me eat this?" "Yes," she said. While they were eating ice cream, Matthew said, "How come you didn't tell everybody that your dog is Sand? I bet you would have won with a sand dog." "Well," said Kalita, "this is Sandy, my sand dog, and I'm going to take him camping and feed him ice cream every day, and he's going to be my pet, and I'm never going to turn him back to sand." "Wow," said Matthew. "I wish I had thought of that. Can you show me how to make one?" "No problem," said Kalita. And Matthew's mom and dad were so happy with Matthew's amazing sand dog that they decided to take it camping. The end. So boys and girls, I have another little surprise for you. I'm going to take the camera and kind of show you that this is the stream I was talking about. And I'm going to show you a really special spot to me. There's some garbage. I'm going to pick that up, even though it's not mine. Boys and girls, this was where Mr. C and I got married. Isn't that cool? Look who came to see us. Look who came to see us. Hello, little puppy. Hello. Did you go on a hike? Did you go on a hike? Where's Bentley? Bentley, did you go on a hike too? Did you go with your papa on a hike? Molly, say hi. Hi, kids. Here comes Mr. C. Wave, Mr. C. Wave. So this is where we got married, boys and girls. Mr. C and I love parks. And this is a state park. And there's the screen. And this is where we stood and got married. All right, adios. Have a good day.